tall tower and a blinding sun. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Gary's Mod. And today, the map we're going to be exploring is GM Windswept. Dry, dusty, windswept plains for as far as the eye can see, but this is not Oklahoma. No, this is the distant planet of Zephyrus. More specifically, it's an illegal mining operation on the distant planet of Zephyrus, one which is illegal because apparently it is not legal to do so on a planet which, in spite of its looks, does support life. Down in the canyons, just at the resources that this company aims to exploit. What could go wrong, right? This is actually from the same creator as a map that I explored previously, titled GM Vacant Industry, and, well, if that's anything to go by, this is going to be rich in lore, detail, and overall just absolutely massive. Look, vents, no doubt for the processes taking place below ground. This may seem like a small metal shack in the middle of nowhere, but, well, the infrastructure around here suggests otherwise, and where else does mining happen but underground? Some kind of little box. It looks like there's a satellite dish on top, maybe for communications? Or perhaps a generator. What's it doing all the way out over here? Zephyrus. Oh, Zephyrus Mining Collective. Playing some nice music, some tunes to keep us distracted from our horribly isolated situation. A joint project between, I guess, Germany, the UK, US, China, and a theoretically still existing Soviet Union. So this is a complete alternate history. What's going on in here? It's got bunks, so it must be a manned surface outpost. UK Constellation Drilling. And all of this illegal. How do you get this much cooperation for something like this? Answer, I'm assuming through copious use of greased palms. Although, I suppose when you put it this way, it's not really too different from your typical British dwelling. Yep, look outside and see the barren gray wastes for miles and miles. The rusty wooden walls and cramped living quarters, yep. Makes me proud to be British. Let's gonna move on then. We need to get on top of that cliff anyway, and, well, maybe if we can climb that tower, we can see what else is around. Looks like there might be something else out there as well. Danger. Traversing beyond this point may exceed safe return distance. What do you mean return distance? Well, I don't know whether to trust a sign, but I certainly trust a scene on the ground on a source map. Danger of wind and radiation. I guess we've taken steps to make this area safer, or maybe we just try to limit our exposure when we're up here. That wind is ever present. You can actually feel just how unpleasant it is to be up here. And not even in any kind of particularly extreme way. It's just, it's done in such a way where I can practically feel it pushing on me, making it just that ever so slightly more difficult to walk. That sure is a lot of landscape out there. Ooh. And there's a very deep trench over there. I always love it when developers include a written backstory for their map. And in this case, it's quite a minimal one. It's something that gives you a bit of context, especially in a case like mine where I'm exploring. It gives me something to work off of. However, I have no idea what that's about. Sirens? Is there some kind of extreme weather coming in? Should I be getting inside? Oh no. Wow, we are a long way from home to be running back. This is feeling like one of those scenes from Interstellar. I don't even know what these sirens mean. I just know they can't possibly be good. What is... Oh, wind vane. Blowing in this direction. It doesn't look too strong for the moment. And now it's dying down. Wait, look. Across the canyon, I can see something over there. Oh my! Whoa! Oh my God! Whoa! No, we are too far. Oh my! Oh wait! Oh no! Get in! Open up! Oh! It's actually pushing me towards the canyon. Look at the skies. It's a wind event. Okay, so I guess the sirens die down immediately before the event. I mean, it's extremely jittery. Wait, maybe we can... Waiting it out here might be our only option. Sorry for anybody sensitive to stuff like this. All we could do was grab onto something. I mean, looking over the edge was just bad timing, I guess. Look at that. Alright, it seems to have died down now. And there's a lift right here that takes us straight down. Right down into the waters below. Now, the reason it's illegal to mine here is because of the life that's developing down there. You wouldn't want to destroy an alien ecosystem when there's so much potential for research, but, well, it seems like they're little jerks, so I don't know. This is looking a little bit more morally ambiguous. A couple of tethers, who knows what those are for. Nothing to be done here. It looks like those garage doors actually close during a storm. So perhaps the warning is basically, hey, get in now, because if you get here during the storm, we're not letting you in. Well, at least we know we'll be safe in here. Just kidding, we're preparing the old safety Glock. I mean, why wouldn't we? So, what's it like in a place like this? Some signage could shed some light. Remember, wear your radiation-resistant apparel. Immediately return inside when siren sounds. Well, I wish he'd told me that before. Moving parts can crush and cut, keep hands and objects clear while operating. Yep, seems like safety releases and such aren't automatic in a place like this. Well, there's an elevator there, but we don't know how far down it's going to go. Instead, we can just glide on down this beautifully wide, beautifully clipped staircase. Oh, that was good for my soul. And hey, they may not have safety features, but at least they've got cold drinks. The idea of a secret mining operation on another planet is just so futuristic dystopian, isn't it? Like the idea that companies could be doing like multi-billion-dollar projects in space that are unknown to whatever governments oversee these things. I mean, can you imagine living in a government that's been completely captured by corporations it's supposed to govern? That is a long way down. The darkness actually prevents us from seeing just how far it is. Red Rock City. Oh my, this really is going to be extensive, isn't it? There's another elevator over here. Freedom isn't free. Strike the land. Wait, is this done using slave labor? like, workers have to earn their freedom through work. Okay, is there any way we can get this thing moving? Hello? Ah, we can lower these. It freezes me in place when I press that. Okay, unfortunately I can't seem to get this mini train to work, so we're just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Not only does it go down deep, it goes far as well. I want to pick up the pace for this one. I mean, if the scale of Vacant Industry is anything to go by, it seems like this creator just has a love of huge underground structures. And to be honest, I'm right there with you. Surface access. Okay, so it doesn't go all that far. Anyway. An underground town mimicking the streets of a surface city on Earth. They're even playing sounds of like hustle and bustle. This is crazy. Terminal Hotel. Streets as if there are cars to drive around in them. Red Rock City Eagle Extractions Co-Settlement. Heavy industrial and residential. Why is that crossed off? Right now, we're down in the commercial district, light industrial, city center, governmental, and agricultural. They've got everything. The desolation of the surface made up for by having all the amenities right down here, underground. Which I imagine also helps keeping prying eyes away from this place from satellites and such, right? I mean, it's got to be unbelievably safe in the event of a disaster, right? Certainly the wind up above. Still, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be much inside. Hello, what's going on back here? Glowing blue mushrooms. Can we interact? More importantly, is interaction a good idea? Okay, it seems like the rooms themselves are going to be fairly bare. Actually, this works great from an RP perspective. And actually, what I meant to talk about before I was so rudely interrupted by those sirens, is how the cool thing about this map is that it is very lore heavy. Actually, we're seeing that there's so much more than is even alluded to in the description, so it still leaves a lot to the player and exploration. But there's also a lot of room for versatility, Garry's Mod, of course, being a versatile platform. A platform for players to mold whatever they're given into whatever they want. Anything of note inside the hotel? And also, what does one need a hotel for down here? Is everyone not accommodated? I mean, let's be real, we already know the answer to that. Out the back door? Yep. Let's see what a room is like in this place. Not much, but what are these buttons? Light switches. Not the easiest thing to mess with in VR, but just imagine how disorienting that would be. You go to bed, you sleep deeply, dream of Earth. You wake up in the middle of what you assume to be night, your bed beside the window. You pick your head up, look down, see people strolling by, the shopkeeper at the counter across the street. And for a moment, it's like you're back home. And then you remember. Still, the way the light pours through those angled windows, leaving streaks on the wall, I must admit it's a bit cozy. It's like a city street where it's always nighttime, and therefore it always feels like nightlife, but a much more relaxed version. People walking on the street doesn't mean there's a festival or something going on, it just means it's business as usual. still, once you're up here, you're almost literally above the sun. And this is where the illusion starts to crack a little bit. You know, granted, you always have to be careful with describing something as abandoned in Garry's Mod, because if it's not multiplayer and there's no NPCs, there'll be no one here. But imagine coming upon this years later. Its lights still on, everything's still working from its nuclear power. And potentially haunted. Well, I suppose whether or not it's literally haunted depends on your definition of haunted. I would say an empty space like this that occasionally howls. Telling no one to take shelter from an incoming disaster is pretty haunted on its face. What is this place? Surface access. There are several places where we can do this. And this feels more like a bunker. A locker room must be where the residents prepare for work. And then this, I bet, is an elevator to the surface, right? But that must mean that there's other places where this stuff comes up, right? I just want to see where this is, because you would think I would see something that could support an elevator when I was up there, right? And we haven't gone nearly deep enough to have somehow crossed over the trench. Just imagine being crammed in here with like 30 people all going to work. Oh no, we're right back here. Okay. We had looped all the way around. That's not something you want to hear while you're on an elevator. Guess it's fine. I guess everything's fine, and just don't even worry about it. Right here. Okay, so where do we want to go next then? We have this map available to us. Alright, so if we finish exploring here, enter the city center, and explore there, then we can hit each of these points directly off of it, and then come around and enter heavy industrial through agriculture. And that way we can pretty much keep moving in a line and still see everything. Awesome. It's the sounds of a city with cave noise. You know, I had talked about this as far back as my Wire Source Game So Creepy video, the thing that launched the channel, and here it is in the most extreme form I've seen it. An otherwise dead space filled with the sounds of life. It's supposed to bring comfort, but it's really just off-putting when there's truly no one else here. A whole lot of dark corners down here. Caution, wear your respirator. It looks like this building is actually condemned. But through the alleyway back here, which, imagine having alleyways in a place like this. I wonder if all this was blasted or mined out, or if they just saw a big cave and thought, perfect. If we jump down here, there's a grate. That's great. Ooh. Hang on, wait, how would one get here in the first place? Yeah, we've already been here. This is very, very infra feeling. Let's do some alien urbex. Actually, it's even more so infra because we're trying to uncover an illegal operation. we're in the sewers of the place. Confined space, hazardous atmosphere, air-supplied respirator required for entry. Looks like some people were still trespassing down here, though, if these boards are anything to go by. Well, doesn't that just look inviting? Slums. Hang on, wait. What's... Okay, there's nothing down that way. I'm not gonna go all the way back right now. Well, I can mess with it, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. Effectively a creator room, map made by Gray the Raptor. Now this is a cool way to do that. I imagine that's someone else as well. Thunk. Wait, let me up. What am I, some kind of Ninja Turtle? Look at this, in the darker portions of the cave, it actually seems like an intentional nighttime feeling. Although, maybe that's been done on purpose, killing the lights to make it feel run down. It's crazy how, when everything is artificial, the powers that be have the ability to turn things into whatever they want. In some cases, seeming like gods when they can even affect what appears to be weather and the day-night cycle. We want our coffee. I mean, it may seem simple, but a lack of goods like that in a situation where it's already very stressful, where people are at their limit, something like that can push people over the edge. And it loops back right around to where we were. There's the building we entered from. Broken windows on this house, yep. Whatever happened here, it did not end peacefully. And this is a cave-in. We don't know how deep this goes, but for all we know, this might have actually crushed a substantial residential area. I guess that's how little they cared about safety. Which is why sooner or later, this whole thing ground to a halt. Do you hear that? Something weird is going on here. I hear like voices, footsteps. These people don't even get windows. Good food. Guess we'll just have to take their word for it, huh? Ooh, a push bar. Don't see those often on maps. What, no artificial sounds of revelry in here? This is the first place we've seen that actually looks somewhat cozy in the right conditions. But I guess that part depends on actual people. Oh, hey. So not only are they conducting an illegal mining operation that threatens the local wildlife, they're also serving it up on trays and bowls. Honestly, I expect nothing less. If they're not importing coffee, who's to say they're importing food either, when there's plenty right here and they can make the workers fish for it themselves? Yet the messaging is met with a bit more hostility over here. And the thing is, it's so self-destructive. I mean, it's their operation. By marginalizing groups of workers like this, by making it so that they don't want to work, well, they're only making themselves less productive. It seems like they probably lost the entire place as a result. Look at this. I like to imagine that the collapse was maybe the final straw. That tunnel went down, and with it, a number of their people. And the lack of response, they just decided that enough was enough. Only problem is, if you do take this place over, then what? I mean, would they have any independent ability to get back? I mean, look at this. Having rooms, basically just pods up here. A ladder up and down. What happens if you were to be injured on the job and become disabled? Something tells me they wouldn't upgrade your accommodations any. I will say it's kind of creepy knowing that there are some lights on in these windows. Look, this whole thing is a dead end. Imagine covered in, like, sweat and dirt and whatever else is out there. You take the train down and shuffle back into your little back alley, looking up at the others doing the same. The dust from their boots falling down on you as a final insult to injury. Just day in and day out until your body finally gives up. Or your mind, which is... They're really banking on your body giving out first. Yep. Ow. Let's see, is there anything else down here to check out? Well, besides the torn open grate right there. I wonder, can we actually crouch through? Will that be a possibility? It seems so, but I was gonna say it doesn't go anywhere, but that looks suspicious. Ooh. My exploration is rewarded! What is this? Some kind of secret stash? I mean, it's all simple goods. But they've got their own ladder torn through the floor. Oh, looks like one of the run-down and condemned buildings that we saw from the street. The elevator is sealed off. It looks completely moldy and or burned inside. Nothing we can do from here, though, but I guess somebody's using it as an entrance and exit. Maybe a means for smuggling? Not an elevator! In fact, a secret entrance to the... Whoever runs this place must be in on it. Makes sense. This is a town center where all the trusted friends hang out. And right behind that wall, they can shuffle people in or out as needed. And hey, what makes this place the good restaurant, if not the place that can get the good food? I'm gonna look again because this place has been extremely helpful in learning how this place actually functions. Nothing down here, but I remember there was one more branch back this way. God, and we've only seen like one section of the city so far. That is insane. Okay, we're gonna put a pin in that. Even down here, we can hear those sirens. Yep, we can come up just wherever on the streets. You know, in history, the homeless have always been kind of seen as the ones who know everything that goes on around a place. In this case, it's not quite the same thing, but hey, these people have got nothing but time to come up with stuff like this, right? Well, the good thing about a fatberg is that it forms a convenient ramp. Or a bridge. Beggars are the eyes and ears of the Thieves Guild. This place has got everything. What do you even need a garage for down here? Ooh. Mycelite. Fungal... Wait. Mycelite fungal polymer. Need an earthy touch? Choose the highest rated wood. Substitute. That doesn't sound safe. Well, there is cave access. You say contaminated area. But you sent people to march in there every morning nonetheless, didn't you? We can still hear it down here, I guess letting the people know how good they have it. On an alien world, and you still live in a barn. Now that's a sad story. With a wood-burning stove. You know, something tells me any spacefaring civilization has the ability to provide better. There's the gate control over there. They really want to make sure nobody messes with this. Oh, this must be agriculture. That makes sense then. I guess in this case, a red wooden or mycelite structure is just about making it feel more like home. Maybe in that instance I judged too quickly. You even bothered to plant one single dead tree. Maybe just for the aesthetic of having a bunch of leaves in the pot. Still, with the wide open space, it's not the worst area to be underground. Strike the land. I think we found City Hall, and even in all this poverty, they still had to have their Roman columns. Look at all those flags on the wall. One might think this was about cooperation. Ooh. A slogan can be a powerful thing. Issue is, once people start to see past the rhetoric, it just becomes something to ironically repeat as they strike your head with their pickaxe. Just from looking around, even ignoring all the backstory we've learned, I just know that whoever sat in that chair was not a good person. Look at that. A payphone directly behind the boss's chair under a spotlight. Maybe that's something they threatened to use, some punishment that's held over the heads of whoever's brought in here. And right up to their balcony, where they can look down on a very large tree. Imagine the effort it must take to keep an ecosystem like this alive down here. And of course it's all sealed away in a chamber where no one else can even see it. If this isn't just symbolic of everything that's happening here, I don't know what is. Oh, ow, seeing it. Sometimes in VR, you just don't want to stick to the ladder. Anything in these rocks over here? Nope. It's like a castle. A castle with a big old garage door. I wonder what's behind it? Answer, we're not going to find out from here. Okay, other side, what hidden luxuries do you hold? I guess even the City Hall staff still had modest accommodations. I guess it's good that they get to do it in this building, but it's still not exactly private or comfortable. Speaking of private and uncomfortable, this is the jail. A jail where the workers truly have no rights. They could be threatened with torture. So it functions as a police station as well. No wonder it's built like a fortress. It's meant to be. In the event of a revolt, they probably would have holed up in here. Doesn't look like it came to that, but hey, maybe they got somebody while they were out and about. Still, they couldn't even put some windows on the front second floor? Yes, every such place needs a boardroom. And here's the court where they pretend that there's some semblance of fair trials here. Some semblance that you can argue your case. Of course, whatever corporate wants, corporate gets. So let's try and figure out more definitively where we actually stand. So if we come over here, industrial identification required, permission to pass may be withheld. But we are right down the road from where we started. In fact, there's where we entered. Well, in that case, we've explored Governmental. We just need to check out the city center some more. See, I guess, how regular workers live. Answer, not great, but at least they have a table to complain over in the morning. And maybe that's enough to keep the ones on the bottom from gaining any headway. I don't know why, anytime I see conditions like this in a map, I always start thinking about the revolution. Just a trait of mine, I guess. But here it's interesting because the city sounds are just as present, but somehow it doesn't actually feel as fleshed out, as full. There are still shops and places to live, but it's a lot more sporadic. It's like there's a lot more empty space. And somehow having more space feels a little less like a real city. Still, a window on either side. Look at Mr. High Roller here. Even a toilet within eyesight of your bed. You don't even have to leave your room. I honestly don't even know what I'm complaining about. Medical. Hospital? Huh. Those sure are some strange-looking X-rays. And what is that? Something that's been found on the planet, maybe? Maybe whatever ended this place came from without. Okay, we're mostly gonna see a whole lot of doctors' offices. I don't imagine there's much to be gained from checking every room. But what about back here? Straight to the morgue, huh? Capacity for 10 bodies at a time. And I guess they used them. Still, in a place like this that couldn't have had more than a couple hundred people total, well, 10 bodies at a time is a big disaster. Bruising and fractures. Look at this. We can actually see the details of what happened to some of these people. And it was not good. And some of this is truly horrific. Something other happened to the head and down the spine. Actually, it says lower half missing, spinal column broken, hand broken. Oh wait, cause amalgapod attack, employee failure. Amalgapod attack, likely mauled by a Goliath snare shrimp. Of course, it blames this on the employee for each of these. Ignited by molten copper. Dissonance. Cause of death, dissonance. What does that mean? Mind collapse, of course, blaming the employee as well. Dissonance. Failed to secure equipment. Only normal one here. Failed to detect oxygenless air pocket in tunnel 12. Suicide. With only a fracture to the head. Fell down a ravine. And mishandling of mining explosives. Now, these may reveal a lot about life here, but there is one of interest that I have not read, and it's because there's nothing to read. This one is torn off. Why? If they're fine with talking about all the organisms that live here that can kill you, which one was redacted? And more importantly, what's the deal with that? There is a second floor, sort of, and a back exit. Ooh, it's dark up here. Blood by the door. Not to be confused with fruit by the foot. Are you kidding? We can't go through there? That is not what I want to start hearing while I'm checking the morgue slabs. That was awful. Okay, I don't think there's really anything here. I'd really not like to find out now. Xeno-aquaponics. Hang on, let's explore this building first. Although I imagine it'll be quite bare like all the others. What is this? It's a physics object. It's even got markings on it. Plant life that comes from here, maybe? But what about this thing? Was this maybe found here? 'Cause that doesn't look natural. That looks like something that would have been left behind by something else. I was just trying to open a door. Thank you. Oh, look at that. I guess they can extract some kind of sap from this. So they are making use of alien life in sustaining their own here. Of course, figuring out how to do stuff like that is kind of why they don't want you destroying this environment in the first place. And we can't open this either. So then if we come up here, this is agricultural. Yeah, we haven't seen this. And I guess this is where all the food preparation happens. A conveyor belt, but a conveyor belt for what? Most of this isn't going to open, but I do see a light on in that window over there. They really have been dedicated to recreating the Earth back alley experience, haven't they? I mean, there's as much back alley as actual building when it comes to surface area. Half these places don't even serve a purpose otherwise, except to create more rooms for alleys. Anything back here? Not really, but anywhere those mushrooms are glowing, you usually know there's something hiding. Or not. Okay, that's it for agriculture. I want to go through there, but there is still the matter of that one space in the sewers. So if we come back down, where was it? It was that area where we could crawl into a pipe. Well, that too, yes, but there was another area where we could crawl into a pipe. Told you we were putting a pin in this. Ooh, what is this? Some kind of crawl space? There was a whole act of resistance. Or at least maybe somebody planning to escape undetected. It's even got ventilation. What is this, Hogan's Heroes? Oh! Look at that, it was right under the pissed off table, where people ruminate on how bad their lives are. That's where you hide a resistance trapdoor. Alright, now for you. Fatberg slipping and sliding. That doesn't seem right. Not at all. Oh! Oh, look, this comes out right down here, down by the water. And there are platforms above us. This is all drainage. They're draining their waste right into the ecosystem. They're draining their waste right into the alien ecosystem. The whole reason they're not supposed to be here to begin with. Heads would roll if anyone found out, presumably. Or, in a more cynical take, they already know and paid for this. Dangerous wildlife. Yeah, I found out. Scarn Prison. Alright, wait. If we do some platforming, perhaps we can get up there. Climb to here. Okay, so this presumably would go to the lift if this platform weren't completely collapsed. Yeah. It actually doesn't seem like you could make it here if you had taken the lift down. But from here, I'm sure we can reach that door. Yep. I feel like I'm playing the utility room again. All the horrible things corporate was willing to do publicly, imagine what they'd go to this much effort to hide. Let's get our footsteps back. Whoa. Cages suspended thousands of feet above a pit. This is like a wizard's dungeon. Are you kidding? A ladder here. Be careful on this thing. And from right here, they can control who goes back. This is absolutely horrific from a human rights perspective, but it's really funny from a Gary's Mod RP server perspective. Imagine getting put into one of these cubes. Let's try and bring one back. We have selected 3. First of all, imagine getting sent away in one of these things and thinking, well, guess this is my life now. And imagine getting brought back. The feeling of being like, well, well, well. Need me for something? You know, this would actually be pretty funny because in VR, I mean, I'm not going to tempt fate by trying it, but I bet you could reach out and push that button from inside the cell. Actually, they sort of thought of that because that wall is solid for a few feet. Still, there's even more to this still. From right here, I bet this probably controls the gate, right? There we go, brings the whole place into lockdown. Of course, we don't need or want that right now. Imagine being trapped in a place like this and knowing that literally the only other people are the company that's doing this to you. There's the mess hall where prisoners make a mess. God, I mean, it may only be 6 cells back there, but this looks like it's designed to accommodate more than 6 people. Up here, I guess, is the guard tower where they would sit up there with their beanbag shotguns and pepper balls, if we're being optimistic. And yet they still proudly throw their logo over this whole thing. What is this? Some kind of processing? Once again, this feels like it's designed to accommodate a lot more than 6 people, and I think if we look around enough, we'll probably find like a full cell block. Here's the control room. Working cameras and all. Laundry room, a very big laundry room. There's somebody down there in the... Hang on. Whoa. Wait. That's like a standing corpse. It's actually... Wow, it's a decent ways back. Which way? Of course not. I can't say I didn't expect that result, but also, after all this time, that... this place really is haunted. And when the only place on a planet is haunted, that means the planet is haunted. So, good job, guys. You polluted this place in more ways than one. We have the power to open the airlock. Straight to the mine, I'm guessing. However, it still warns of dangerous wildlife. Is there something in there? Sounds kind of like it. Would this be like some kind of penal colony? Like, oh my god. I saw that gas pump over there and I thought there was something crouched in the corner. I'm a little on edge now. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking, that this is some sort of penal colony where, like, the prisoners would be forced to do the real dangerous work against their will. There's still more to see here. And yes, I really am just leaving that giant door open for whatever's back there. Actually, I believe some of the reports we saw in the morgue would indicate the presence of some giant creature. I'd bet that's where it lives. Well, that's always a good sign. I misunderstand. That's not a door. This is a wall for a firing squad. I guess they're supposed to die doing this work, and some of them just prove a little too hard to kill. They gotta grease the wheels a little bit. Here, I guess, is where they do machine work. Wow, there is actually more aspects of industry going on here than in the surface. Hey there. Just take this in for a moment. Those same sounds still echo down these halls even after everyone else has long since left. Well, maybe not everyone. Okay, let's walk through this like an idiot. And once again, call upon the help of Senior Safety Glock. Because I don't know what we're going to find out here. wonder if these are the same mines, yes, that connect onto Red Rock City. That's the door right there. So that is a land connection to the prison. And whatever's dangerous that's out here could easily just be one door away from running amok inside the city. Anything we can get inside? Doesn't seem so, but they've clearly been doing work here. There's some of those plants. And I imagine that water is none too safe to dip into. Seems okay. I guess that's how this stuff sustains itself. Look at how brightly colored it is. For something that evolved down here? I mean, something like this would have to survive off of local minerals, right? This is all in Russian. Must have been the Soviets managing this part of the mine. All collapsed too, and only darker further down. I'm constantly going back and forth on this map because I'm trying to keep some sense of progression. Fortunately, I don't think there's any way to open the gate on the other side. Are you going up or down? Down, way down. We're coming back here. Another collapse. Alright, Russian mine. Teach me what secrets lie in your darkness. Ooh. This is true darkness, and the sounds of the wind from above aren't helping. Cave. More than that, it looks like something likes to tunnel in this cave. Something that wasn't our own drills. This is giving me flashbacks to RP Bangkla. Don't like all these sounds I'm hearing all around me. Either something is shifting around, something moving in these tunnels, or the tunnels themselves are moving, and neither is a good scenario. We're right back to the prison. I didn't even realize there was a separate branch here. Alright then, with nothing else left to do, I guess we see what's even deeper. Even deeper than the river at the bottom of the canyon. It's even deeper than I thought. Much deeper. I keep swearing I hear things moving around. I don't even want to approach the edge. You know, I had a bad experience with approaching an edge once. Not that it much matters, because it is pure black down there. Well, that's always a great sign. You know, a sign telling you to keep out. Alright, safety lock with tack light, do your thing. We're going. This whole mine is flooded. Great. Now I get the pleasure of trying to see in here while keeping my head and light above water while also pointing the safety Glock. Oh, there's a big chamber over here. Whoa. And that's an electric light, meaning this chamber wasn't flooded when they started. You know, these formations really convey the hostility of the space here, huh? I mean, you can't help but be reminded of jagged teeth. Wait, is there something down there? I mean, besides pump equipment that has long since failed, hang on. I can't believe that actually worked. I think we found where that thing upstairs came from. Look. They abandoned this place because they did find something here. Huge machinery. I'm hearing some really strange noises now, and it's got markings all over it. Yeah, this is not natural. This is something that's been left behind, maybe by some other race in ancient times. Some other race that came as deep as this, meaning they must have been pretty advanced, right? This looks like a huge bucket, almost like in a steel mill. Maybe this was some kind of industrial site for them as well? Only thing, why would a find like this cause this place to be abandoned? And the answer is, I'm guessing we're not done yet. What is this? Everything else is like brown and rusted. This is blue. There's some of those same symbols we saw on the stuff upstairs. Wait, I wonder if we can interact with this? I didn't expect to be doing alien archaeology in this. It doesn't seem so. But this looks like it may function as some kind of gate. Alright, it's gonna take a little bit, but the only thing I can really think to do is to head all the way back upstairs and grab that artifact that they brought up with them and see if that interacts with something down here. This will be tremendously easier if we can open this thing. I mean, hey, whose safety are we protecting at this point anyway, right? Nothing like 2 big scary alarms to start the workday. I think something might be malfunctioning just a bit. Fitting. In every horror movie ever, the curse is broken when the artifact is returned to where it was found. Maybe this is something like that? I don't know. I'm not an archaeologist. I thought that might do something. Some kind of power source, maybe. No way. Is this maybe a crashed ship? I feel like I'm in the beginning of Alien, but I have to see this. Look, there's markings even on the texture of the floor, on the walls and ceiling. Something's happening. There's like little green dots all flowing through the place, passing right through the walls. The stuff all looks like it does something, but I can't even begin to comprehend what. All I know is that it sounds like a Dell computer from 2002 booting up. Does this not open? No. Need a little alien white rabbit to get through there. This doesn't seem to open. That looks like a computer processing information, but none of it looks like text. This thing, too, has been hearing what to it is an alien siren for who knows how long. Maybe it doesn't like this any more than we do. In fact, maybe removing that power source is what caused the chamber to flood in the first place. Inverted gravity capturing liquid? This feels like some kind of power source, but like it's all in one shape. There's no moving parts or anything. This is so cool. It's like you can sort of almost identify this stuff, but then you take a look at it and you're like, wait, no, that's actually really weird. The wind upstairs knows when to add dramatic ambiance. Look at all this. I'm gonna take a guess and say this functions as some kind of levitation elevator. Some sort of control center. Button, 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 button. And what's the worst that can happen? Either way, it doesn't seem to have done anything. Maybe it recognizes that I shouldn't be pushing buttons. That's what we really need. Somebody needs to invent a keyboard that feels bad for you. But either way, like lines, images projected on a wall. That seems to be how information is communicated here. A bunch of these pedestals maybe acting as seats? Or as tables, who knows? First of all, we've been detected, but alright, if this is anything like GM Vacant Industry, it's possible that subtitles would be appearing on the screen right now. I cannot see them, but I will come down here afterwards and try and show them to you in editing. While we're in there, all the sounds are muted. But something knows that we're here. Should I even be holding my breath in there? Looks like they've dealt with their share of collapses as well. The eons have not been kind to them, although I imagine they've been here a lot longer than we have. But in any case, like, something survived. All this time. Secret entrance. It sounds like this place is waking up. More of those small doors. They've got normal-sized ones and small ones. Why? Oh, this comes back to here. The first one wouldn't open. Maybe they can only be opened from the other side. I mean, it makes sense. We would have skipped a sizable portion of the ship had we not. This then, I bet, will come right back around to, yeah, this room with the Dell Optiplex. So what is all this then? I get the impression some kind of teleport. But it's connected by all these wires. So does something have to happen first? workshop page, and while I was idle, I noticed that those alien voices will play just every once in a while on their own. So I don't think they're actually in response to me doing anything. It sounded a lot like something was either telling us to get lost or trying to instruct us on what to do. But at this point, I feel like it would be good to try for a no-clip run. Useful tool to have when mining. And here we are in the very lowest depths. Oh my, this all just flew by, but look at this. Look at how extensive this is, all the different rooms and weaving hallways and pathways, and all of this coming after we were exposed to our very first sight of the base. This. Coming over a hill and seeing a nondescript small garage just sitting on the surface with nothing around for miles. That's the appeal of stuff like this, and Vacant Industry was a very similar map in terms of the way it's built, even if the setting is very different. First of all, its surface structure was anything but nondescript, but it's put together in a similar way in that it A, turns out to be much more than you thought, and B, that it's got a lot of world building and lore and story. In this one, it's a lot more downplayed and subtle, a lot more built for general gameplay. I mean, this had a very simple puzzle compared to Vacant Industry, but you still had to recall, oh wait, that thing that stood out earlier, that thing that didn't look like it quite belonged here, well, maybe it goes with the other thing that doesn't look like it quite belongs here. And all the while, it's got so much atmosphere, so many layers to its story. Because it's not like the mining operation and subsequent potential revolt story only works if there's aliens involved. It's just one more thing in this place's history. Even if it is the thing that ended it. That's the cool thing. There are so many things that could have been what ended all of this, and it's up to us to speculate on what it actually was. Meanwhile, we can speculate about this thing too. Was it here for a long time, crash landing millennia ago? Was it always here and this is their homeworld? Is it a ship? Is it a structure? Did it cause the destruction here? Or was it simply along for the ride while we destroyed ourselves? Is that a recording? Something that's just playing on loop, sort of like the sirens that warn no one? Or is it trying to communicate with us to get out, or trying to guide us on what to do? There is so much open for interpretation. I like that there's a description on the workshop that sets the scene for you, but doesn't go deep into what any of this is. It still leaves that much as an exercise to the player, and you could come to different answers and have it be totally valid. The map has got some creepy elements for sure, but it's also really cool in the way it presents itself, just on the concept of what this place is, you know? Which is why I really like the progression of seeing the surface outpost and then coming down and finding all this, and then slowly realizing that all of this is only the tip of the iceberg. And it's got a nice flow, a nice pace to it. But there is still one thing that I have yet to get closure on. And I guess in no clip we can be out here while it's doing this. And that is, what is this over here? I'm imagining that's probably going to be beyond the skybox. But that is another surface outpost. Yep, there we go. There is, however, something over there. Are you double dipping on creator runes? Huh. Weird box. That's sort of eerie. The fact that this is just floating out here, nothing in it, they bothered to light it? Is this something that would maybe be seen on the security cameras? Why is this here? Well, anyway, this was a really cool one, and I'm definitely glad you guys suggested it to me. A lot of you were recommending this. And once again, you called it. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this map out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.